Hey, good morning. So we took another trip to Dumont. It's Saturday out here. Got here Thursday. Didn't do any riding on Thursday. Got here Thursday night. We actually blew a tire on the trailer coming out here, so that was fun. Put us behind schedule a little bit. Got the Can-Am out. I'm sitting here right now working on my drone. I'm going to try to get some drone footage. Got to ride with somebody who's got a XP 1000 Polaris. He's got paddles. He's pretty experienced out here, and I definitely want to get some paddles if I'm going to do this. The machine works pretty good. I got the air pressure down to 8. I think I might try to take it a little bit lower. You get a run at stuff, it goes pretty good. The problem is you get into you get a little bit behind the power curve, you lose a little bit of momentum, and you stuff your foot in it some more, and she likes to kind of dig in with the tires. And I know that if I just had a little bit of extra traction, but she'll pretty much go, as high as I want to go at this point. I still haven't made it to the top of anything, but I've made it up pretty high. And people that ride Dumont know that this place is huge. Anyway, camping's good. Got 3 people we're riding with, 3 machines out here, and it's a good time. We'll try to update you with some videos as much as I can. See you soon. Hey guys, I just thought I'd give you an after-action Dumont after-action report with the Can-Am. So I finally took the plunge. We rode with some people who knew what they were doing in the dunes quite a bit. They had paddles, and they only had normally aspirated machines, but they had driven it lots of times. And the one kid kept telling me, your car will do anything, even with those tires. It'll do more than mine will. And I, started out with baby steps. It's hard to get the confidence to ride. You really don't know what the machines can do. And I just say, these machines are so much more capable than you think that they are, that at some point you kind of have to just jump in with both feet. And we ended up going on a ride, and he just went way the heck up the hill, and we wound all around, and I just pushed the pedal down and let her rip, and was absolutely blown away at what the car will do. I ended up letting the tire pressure down to 6 psi, which seemed to be kind of a nice magic number. I did notice that it actually worked a lot better than 8 pounds. Really seemed to kind of flatten out and grab a lot more. Now clearly, the Liberties, they're not tuning tires. It's not what they're designed for, but the car has so much freaking power that you really can make it do what you want to do. I was constantly trying to keep up with it as a driver. We had so much fun. I've only ever done trail riding in my 800 Polaris, and then mostly trail riding in this. In fact, we went trail riding last weekend, which I probably should have done a report on. Let a buddy drive it, and he drove it straight through a bush. But anyway, he really liked it though, which is all cool. That's what it's for. So this car, it just blows my mind. I do see where people want more power in the dunes, but I'll tell you what, with these tires, it would go anywhere. I was not at a loss for power. I did have it to the floor a few times, with 2 on board, 2 big guys on board, and I put it down to the floor quite a few times, but most of the time not for very long. She'd plow right up the hill. We didn't do really much night riding there. I did notice that even with the light bar, it's pretty hard to see those shadows and things. It gets a little scary pretty quick, especially in Dumont. It's a big dunes. Bottomed the car out a couple times, probably rightfully. We hit hard, one of those deals where you're driving on a flat surface and you need to get some momentum to go up a hill and it's straight up. We bottomed the car out once pretty good on the back end. So I may have them set too soft, I don't know. But I think I think anything just about would have bottomed out under those conditions. I jumped the car a couple times. It was, I don't think, a very good jump for it. The back end kind of came way up in the air. But it was nothing, no big jump or anything. I'm not that brave. But I am absolutely amazed at the car. We had so much fun in the dunes. What a blast. It was a little hot during the day. Probably a little too hot to ride even, but we did anyway. Couple things wrong. Missing my fire extinguisher. It just flew off and I have no idea where. So I have to get a new one of those fire extinguishers and probably a new mount because they probably don't sell the pieces. So that's a bummer. I broke one of my lighted whips as well. I've been having issues with that. I'll do a little separate video on the ad safety whips. Probably gonna have to, spoiler alert, probably have to give them a thumbs down. I mean, I've broken it, I fixed it, and I broke it again. Kind of a bummer. It's just those whips are so expensive, but the car worked great. I'm just really completely happy. I'm sure the 172 horsepower of the Turbo R is probably fine, you know, especially if you put paddles on in the sand. I'm sure it goes great. This thing though, the 195 horse, I've never driven a 172 horse, so maybe I'm just talking out my butt, but it really goes. I mean, I was not at a loss. I've heard of other people, you know, struggling with the Liberties to get up hills and stuff, and it didn't. We went up Comp Hill, and I didn't think I was gonna, you know, I had no idea if I could make it, and we put the sucker down, and I let her rip, and I got getting towards the top, and I thought, oh gosh, I'm going way too fast, and had to get out of it, and anyway, it rips, and it was a hot day, and there, you know, density altitudes are way up there. It was great. Haven't really had any issues with the car. I bent the little skid plate up trail riding when my buddy ran through the the bushes. Just bend it back out a little bit with a C-clamp. Couple scratches in it here and there, you know, that come from riding. It's a bummer sometimes. So I'm like, oh, I actually lost my toolkit off the back when I was trail riding the other day, and it got hung up with the strap and got wrapped around the axle and all kinds of crap, and my tools went all over the place, and it left some scratches in the plastic, and it's kind of a bummer. I'm really trying to keep it nice, but you know, that's what it's for. Other than that, she's running real good. I'm really happy with it. It gets a lot of comments, and I love it, and I think I'm falling in love with the dunes because I had the time of my life there. It was really good. Really cool stuff. I tried to get some drone footage. I gotta get better at that. I messed up the video pretty bad. I thought I had it all recorded, and I have to do some investigating on that. And I really tried to do some filming, riding with my camera. That doesn't work. I need to get a GoPro or something with some stabilization. So I apologize there's not any really riding stuff. I might put a clip of a buddy of mine hitting a jump. But other than that, I'll try to make the channel a little better. But as far as anybody wanting to buy that, they're expensive, but man, so worth it. As far as any regrets I have, I mean, if I could do it all over again when I get the RC model, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. If I got a good deal on an XRS Turbo RR, I might have gone for that because the lower doors are not very expensive. You wouldn't have the intrusion bars, wouldn't have the winch, maybe some extra skid plates. But if I'm really into duning and trail riding and not much rock crawling, it might be worth it just to do the XRS. But certainly this has everything. If you can afford it, I do like it a lot. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say, but I had a blast in Dumont. I can't wait to get back.